Alright, so this is the video tutorial for assignment 3. Basically what you have to do is what this says. In part 3 of the biography page, you convert your CSS from inline to internal. I think I already went over this actually, but basically this is what we have to do, alright? To crop our images and everything else and make sure it looks good. Alright, so at this point what I have is, I have that bio, the bio folder. I have my images in here. I didn't crop them yet, but they're in there. And then I have the index here, and when you double click on it, this is what it looks like. Alright, so if I go ahead and open this up in Visual Studio Code, you're going to see that I have all of this in here. Now what I want to do is basically, first thing I'm going to do is take all this and convert it so that it's not all inline, because I don't like the inlineness of it. Okay, we're going to go ahead and just take this and make it instead the internal embedded. Okay, so after the title here, I'm just going to go ahead and put my my style type. And it's going to be text/CSS. Boom, like that. Okay, so all of my CSS rules are going to go in there, and I'm just going to go right down the line. I'm just going to start from the top and work my way down. So the first thing was, you can see I put some stuff on the body, so I'm just going to go over here, hit tab in, and do my body, and then I'm going to just take these rules. So I'm just going to click from here and drag all the way to here. I guess I only have one. Control C, Control V. And then I'm just going to take this and delete that. So it's just body. And that will work. That's basically what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to do the same thing with my H1 here. So next is an H1. H1. And I'm going to take what's in this H1, which I'm going to do this too. I'm going to go to View. I don't know why this isn't on by default, and do Word Wrap. Okay, I'm going to take this whole section, and I'm going to Control X, which will cut that out. Alright, as opposed to Control C, which is just straight copy. And then I'm going to go here and tab Control V for paste, or Command V if you're using a Mac. Voila. Okay, so that's good. Next thing I have is this image style, and I got width and all this other stuff. So I'm not just going to straight up do an image, because if I use any other images, which I haven't right now, that will apply to all of them, which is actually not what I want to do. I would rather, I want this to have that styling, but I want it to instead have, be this one specifically. So I'm going to do is I'm just going to make an ID, because it's just this one in particular, and we're going to put this port image for for my portrait image. Alright, so I'm just going to put this ID here, and I'm going to make it up here. Tab, and port image. Okay, and then I'm going to take all of the styles here, from there to here. Control X, and delete and remove that, and then go ahead and Control V. Alright, so that's in there. That's good. Now, I actually did a couple things wrong here. I didn't realize I was doing it. But see the body, see how it says background image, and then it says font family? They're on the same line. Now, you could actually leave it like this. It doesn't actually matter, but I think it's cleaner if we actually have them stacked. So I'm going to hit there and enter, so it says, you know, color, and then do one for font size, and one for font family. Okay, good. And the same thing here. I'm just going to take this and enter. For each, I'm putting each rule on a new line, as opposed to having them just in a you know, going down that way. It's just, you get a better idea of what is in there. Okay, support image, that's good. And I'm just going to save this and just show you how it doesn't look any different. I'm going to hit Control R. See how it looks exactly the same, because I'm just taking the stuff off of the inline and putting it into these elements in here. Okay, so then we have this P style text decoration underline. Actually don't like that anyway, so I'm just going to take that out. I only put that in there just as an example. Okay, so just cone is fine. Then we have this horizontal rule. I only have the one, so I'm just going to go ahead and do an HR. And we will just take this color property here, Control X, and I'm going to delete that, and then we'll just do tab Control V. Okay, so that's like that. And I'm gonna have it go up there so it's more like a piece. Okay, now I have this style, and I think it's the same for all the H3s. And I think I did all the same for my P's as well. Okay, so there's only a couple more, so we're just gonna do the H3. It's gonna pause it and just finish it, but I'll just do it on the thing here so that you can see. So I'm gonna go from here all the way to here, and Control X, okay. Tab, Control V, and again, I'm just gonna make sure that these are stacked on a new line. So let's take that off, and then I just gotta take it off of the rest of these too. So I'm just gonna go from here to here and delete. Okay, and from here to here and delete. Okay, and then I had this the P, I put a width of 720, so we'll just go ahead and do that. So P, and I'm just gonna type it because width, and we did 720 px. Okay, and then I'm just gonna remove that from these. Delete, 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 and delete, and H style, blah 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 blah. Okay, let's see if we can, I don't know if that's gonna work, but let's try just doing a straight up A. Normally you do some pseudo classes, but I'm gonna not do that yet, so I'm just gonna try doing the A. So we're gonna grab this all the way to that, and Control X. I think this should still work. And then we're gonna go up here and tab Control V. Get out of here. Yeah. Okay. And I'm just gonna save that, and I'm gonna go here and see if it looks any different. And okay, well the underline came off, but yeah, that works fine. Okay. So good. So you can see that basically I did the same what we already did, you know, I did what I wanted to, which is to just take this and make it up in the inline. You can see it wasn't too hard. It's just copy and pasting mostly and deleting extra codes and things. Okay, so that works pretty okay. The next thing I want to do is actually go through and make it look pretty. Okay, so I want to make it look a little bit nicer because if you look at this, it's not really, you know, that great. So what I'd like to do is actually want to take, you know, my name here, maybe put it above this, and then maybe have this on the right instead. So I just want to change a couple of elements. Okay. So I guess I'll just start from the top down. Okay. So yeah. All right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my image here and, hang on a second, I want to see how I did something. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to take this part, the just cone is fine. I'm going to cut that and we'll put it after my name. So Jonathan Cohn, just Cohn is fine. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I want this to be like one section and then the image to be another section. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put those in divs. So I'm going to do a div, and we're going to put an ID on it because it's only in one spot. And we're just going to call it the, I don't know, page title, we'll say. Okay. And go like that. And I got to take this, and I'm just going to Control X. And I'm going to put it after this. And tab that in. And then I'm going to take these two, and I'm going to hit tab to tab those in. So that way I can tell that those go here. I'm going to hit enter. And then we'll have the image. So that works pretty good. It shouldn't really look too different. Let's see what it looks like here. Control R. It just, now that's there and this is here. Okay. So what I want to have happen is this. I want to actually have, and I haven't shown you guys how to do this yet, but I want to put my name and thing here, and then a picture to the right of it. So to do that, I got to change these to inline. All right, so I'm going to take this page title and do boom, page title, and I'm going to go ahead and do display inline block. I don't see it in there. Inline block. Okay. And basically what that does is this. I'm trying to think of an example here. So normally every time you make a new element, right, most of these, they start on a new line. So if I do this, this P will start on another. It's like hitting enter. But some don't do that. Some are called inline. And what that means is that they'll just keep going to the right. Like it won't stop. So for instance, this EM is an inline. I could put it right in here, but as soon as I put an EM in, this abode oi, it doesn't start on a new line. It's part of the paragraph still. So what I'm going to do is basically convert this to that style, inline block, which is kind of like halfway of both. And that should hopefully make the image, and Control R, put the image to the right, because now that's happening after. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to take these two parts here and actually make them right aligned, so it butts up against my face here. So let's go ahead, and currently my H1, you can see I did text align center, so I'm just going to take that off. I don't really want that. And then inside of page title, I'm also going to do text align, and I'm just going to go ahead and do right. Because these are both underneath page title, they'll inherit this. Now I had to delete it from here first because I think that would be more specific, because that's that one particularly. I'm not sure. It might still override it, but I'm not 100% sure. There you go. And now you can see they're kind of butt up against it. I'm going to also put a little margin in there because it needs some space. So we're also going to do a margin right, margin dash right, and let's go ahead and do, I don't know, 25px, and let's see, Control R, just so it has a little bit more of a gap. Good. Okay, so we're going to call that a thing. Alright, so next what I want to do is this. I want to take these and do the same thing. I want them to be one chunk after another chunk, that it'll be this one, then another one, then another one. Okay? And I want to take the whole thing and make them into one big block. So to do that, I'm going to take each one of these paragraph sections and go ahead and div them so that they have so that they are like a chunk. So we're going to do div. This I'm going to do a class because I'm just going to have them be classes. I'm going to do class, and we're going to call them par section, and then it's going to go ahead and give me that. I'm just going to delete that for now. I'm going to take this, and I'm just going to copy it, Control C, Control V. It keeps putting that in there, huh? It's kind of weird. All right, Control V. All right, and then I'm going to put the closing div on each one of these. So div, div, and this one's going to go after this. Div. Okay. Now I'm going to take this whole section in here and just tab it in, just so that I can see it's part of that. Okay, it doesn't actually have any functional purpose other than just so I can see. All right, I'm going to grab this whole section and tab that in. Okay, so now whenever I do to the par section, it will apply to all three of them. Okay, so I'm going to go up here, and this is a class. I'm going to do dot par section, for paragraph section, and I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to do display. Display inline block, and then we're also going to, now you remember I have this P that says width 720. I'm actually going to take that out because I'm just going to put it right inside of this paragraph section instead. So I'm going to do width, and let's do 480px. All right, and I'm just going to save that, and then we're going to oops, not that one. Right here, we're going to refresh it, Control R. And now you can see that I have them stacked right next to each other. Okay, so that works decently. Okay. Let me see. Just want to check one thing. I'm also going to do this. So you notice how they're kind of down? I'm going to do, which I don't usually use too much, but we're going to go ahead and do vertical align. And we're going to go ahead and make that text top. Save that. Not that one. Control R. And that will make it so that they're aligned to the top. You notice how they were aligned to the bottom before? So I'm putting that in there too, just to kind of clean that up. So now I got these nice 3 kind of sections here, which works pretty good. I'm relatively happy with that. And then what I would like to do next is basically put like a color behind this to kind of make these feel like one piece. So I'm just going to put all of these ones, these 3 paragraphs, into another div. So I'm just going to call it div, and this will be an ID because there's only one. And I'm going to say content. That works for me. Content. Boom. And I'm going to take this and I'm just going to Control X to cut it. And I'm going to put it at the end after this. Control V to paste. Just tab that in. Now I have to take all of the stuff inside of here and tab these in one. So tab. Okay. So these are all inside of this div content, and then each, Okay. So now whatever I do to content, it'll apply to all of them. So after this one, it's going to be a pound symbol, content. All right. And now whatever I apply to that, it will apply to the rest of them. So let's go ahead and do a background hyphen color. And I don't really know what color I want to use. What does this look like? So let's do, I don't know, a light orange, we'll say. So I'm going to go to W3 schools, and I'm just going to scroll down here for that color picker. And I said a light orange, right? So let's say something like this. Go in here, and I'm just going to desaturate it. Go like that. Hit OK. I'm going to grab this hex code, Control C, go to my code, and Control V. Boom. And what else I want to do with this? Oh, let's go ahead and, well, I'll save this first. And let's go here and hit Control R. So now you see I got this nice little thing, but notice how it's hugging this right now. I want to put a little bit of a gap there. So to put a gap between the content and the outside of the box, I need to add padding. So we're going to go ahead and put some padding in there. So I'm going to do padding, and I'm just put it on all areas. And let's just do, let's say 10 px. Okay. And the other thing I want to do is, if you look at this, it's really kind of tight out here, so I don't want it to be the full amount. I'm going to throw something new in here for you. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to do width, but I'm going to do 75%, which means it'll be 75% of what the page is. Okay. And let's go ahead and save that. Control S, Control R. Okay. So, and now if you look, what ended up happening is it actually shoved this down. So this is what will happen. Things will actually stack. So watch, as I make this smaller, the other one will stack on top of it. Okay. And if I go wide enough, it will, excuse me, it will go farther. So the 75 is actually a little too tight. Now I know each one needs a 480, right? So if I do, let's do CALC, let's do 480 times 3. So 1440. Seems, I'm gonna make these a little bit thinner maybe. Let's try, I'm gonna take my par section here and let's do 320. Save that. And Control R. Okay, so that gives a little bit more room. But now I have this big gap on this side and a little gap on this and no gap on this side. I want to kind of center this. So what I'm going to do is actually, if I did 75%, that means there's 25% at play that's left. So what I can do is 12.5%. So what I'm going to go over here and do margin left and do 1.25%. Right, because that's half of the 25% that's left. And that should more or less center this. There you go. Now it's centered. Okay. Now if you look, you can see I might want to like make these a little bit wider. So let's try So where's that 320? Let's try 400. Control S. Control R. It's a little bit closer. I'd have to play with the numbers and things like that. But that's sort of, you know, up to you. Let's see. Do I want to do anything else? Yeah, I'm kind of okay with that for now. Maybe take this and move that over. I'm going to take this whole thing and just kind of make that centered. So, or push it over at least. So what I'm going to do is, I got page title and I got this. I'm going to put both of these inside of divs. Div, and this will just be an ID again. And we're going to put like a header. It's kind of a header. Head top. There we go. Because header is actually a thing that we can't use. That's an actual. No, cut this, and I'm going to put it after this, and we'll tab that. Tab, and I'll grab this section in here and tab this. Okay, so this will control the whole thing. So I'm just going to do boom, head top, and I'm going to do margin left again, and let's try 25% to start with. Control S, and let's see what that does. Control R, and well, that's pretty good. Okay, so now it's nice and centered. It's not the greatest looking thing, but you get an idea. Obviously, don't make yours look like mine. It's just an example of how to do it. You should see how that works a little bit better. And you can see how much cleaner it is by having all this stuff on the top. So all my styles are up here, right? So my design is up on the top, and my content is under the bottom. And I just put things in sections so I can control them in a more consistent way. All right, so that's what you want to do. Good luck on the assignment.